Good afternoon, welcome back to the Dugout Football Channel, where today I'll be doing a Liverpool preview for the upcoming Premier League match with Leicester City. Now, this is going to be Liverpool's hardest game of the season so far, in my opinion. Look at the Leicester City side, they are currently sitting third in the Premier League table, and they've only lost one game so far this season. That was to Manchester United, but ever since then they've been very, very good. And this is a real hard test. Obviously, Brendan Rodgers returning to Anfield, where he was manager for 4 years, and going to be very, very interesting, I think. And it's going to be an interesting game, I think, considering that Leicester City are just coming off the back of a 5-0 victory over Newcastle United. So it's going to be a very, very hard game. Now, let's get into our opponents, Leicester City. Now, this team is just probably the best Leicester City team that you could probably say in a long, long time. I mean, there's so many brilliant players for Leicester City. So, Jamie Vardy. Everyone knows about Jamie Vardy. He loves scoring against Liverpool. Do not make any mistakes about it. He loves scoring against Liverpool. James Maddison, he's been absolutely outstanding. You know, Newcastle United, they didn't play James Maddison in the last game. So, he's been excellent. And I remember James Maddison actually at Aberdeen. He was at Aberdeen for a wee while. I think he was on loan at the time. And he was very, very good. Very, very good then. So he's been excellent for Leicester City this season. Kasper Schmeichel, obviously Premier League winning goalkeeper. It pains me to say that, but we are playing Premier League champions. So it does pain me to say that. But one of the main players that's really impressed me this season has been Kaglar Siyunku. I hope I pronounced that right. Obviously, we all knew about Harry Maguire. We all knew about his impending move to Manchester United. However, not many people would have expected the actual impact that Kaglar Siyunku has brought to the Leicester City team. And it has to be said that he's actually played really, really well. Doesn't look out of place. And the funny thing is, he looks like Lord Farquaad from Shrek. If you actually put the two pictures together, then the resemblance is canning. So I would definitely say that. Yuri Tillemans, obviously Leicester City, obviously had him on loan last season, and he looked very, very good last season, and managed to get him on a permanent deal, which was really, really good as well. They've obviously added Dennis Pratt as well. He didn't look out of place last week against Newcastle United. He looked really, really good. Leicester City, and obviously they got Ben Chilwell as well, who I probably expect to be probably first choice left back for England in a few years' time. I think with obviously Danny Rose coming to the end of his career, you've got Ben Chilwell there, and I think he will probably play for England for the foreseeable future, I have to say. So I think that's another thing you have to say with this one. Wilfred Ndidi, obviously a powerhouse in that midfield for Leicester City. Liverpool target as well, once upon a time, and he's been excellent so far this season. So, and obviously at right back they've got Ricardo Pereira, who's been fantastic. I mean, he scored more goals than Marcus Rashford this season, which is absolutely crazy. He's a right back, and he's scored more goals than Marcus Rashford. So, that's another thing as well. And obviously they've got Harvey Barnes as well. Their squad just oozes with class, and this is going to be a very, very tricky test, as I've said. So, be very, very interesting to see how they do. And obviously Brendan Rodgers coming back to Anfield. First time, obviously, since being sacked in 2015, 2016 season when Jurgen Klopp took over. So, again, it is going to be a very interesting game, and this is going to be one of those games where it could be a very, very close affair. So, that's the Leicester City side of things. Now let's look at their matches since basically this season. So has to be said that their fixtures this season. So started the season off against Wolves. That was a 0-0 draw. And Wolves obviously could have won that game, but has to be said that they did very well to get a 0-0 draw against Chelsea. Now they played really, really well against Chelsea. Very unlucky not to win that game. Didn't take their chances. Maddison had a few chances that day. And then obviously they go Sheffield United. They win 2-1. And then in the Carabao Cup second round, they go to Newcastle United and 1-1 draw. And then that was a 4-2 win on penalties for Leicester City. And then they win 3-1 against Bournemouth. And then they go to Manchester United and lose 1-0. But they'll feel hard done by that they didn't take anything from that game. And then they beat Tottenham 2-1, which was a very, very good game. Maddison obviously scoring in that game as well. And then Carabao Cup game, Luton Town, they beat 1-4-0. And one of the new signings, James Justin, was on the score sheet that day as well. So, it's going to be a very, very interesting test. And obviously the last game between the Leicester City and Newcastle, 5-0 to Leicester City. So they are going to be a very hard team to beat. And they are definitely one of those teams that will be definitely challenging for the top 6 for sure. Maybe even the top 4. The way they've started is whether they can obviously continue it. And in my opinion, this is, like I've said, this is the hardest game for Liverpool. Now, Liverpool side of things, obviously 4-3 winners over Salzburg last night. Didn't look very good defensively. Was a bit of an off day though, although Matip was missing yesterday. So obviously Joe Gomez, obviously he is rusty at the moment, and it'll be very interesting to see who starts the weekend. So here's my predicted 1 to 11. So I'm going to say that Adrian will start in goal, and then I think Trent Alexander-Arnold. Then if he is fit, I would probably expect Matip to come back in, but if he's not, then Joe Gomez will probably continue at centre back. Then I would say that Virgil van Dijk will play as well. Then Andy Robertson, who scored last night against Salzburg. So very, very good performance from him. And then in the midfield 3 would be Fabinho, Wijnaldum and Henderson. And then your front 3 of Salah, Mane and Firmino. So it's going to be a very, very interesting game, this one. Obviously, we know about their games last season. Obviously, we won 2-1 at the King Power last season. And we also drew 1-1 with them at Anfield. If you remember, that game was a bit of a snowy affair when Sadio Mane scored for Liverpool and Harry Maguire scored for Leicester City that day. So, yeah, 3 o'clock Saturday. Going to be a very, very good game, I think. And, we'll see what happens. But in this game, I would probably expect Liverpool to probably start on the front foot, and then, Leicester City will definitely come into the game for sure. I will predict that Jamie Vardy will score. He always seems to score against Liverpool. Obviously, last season he didn't. Rashid Gazelle, who I don't think is there, if I'm right in saying, I don't think he's at Leicester City anymore. He scored for Leicester at the King Power, and obviously I've said Harry Maguire scored for Leicester at Anfield. So, shall be very, very interesting indeed. So, as a score prediction, it's hard. It's really, really hard to say, but I will probably say I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to Liverpool. But as I've said, this could easily end in a draw because we all know how good Leicester City have been this season, and quite rightly up there for those top 4 and top 6 positions to battle for this season. So shall be very, very interesting indeed. How do I see Leicester City? I think, honestly, I think Leicester City are one of those teams that are going to be very, very tricky to beat. And like I've said, I do expect Jamie Vardy to score. So I'm going to say Leicester City score first, and then I think Liverpool will come back into the game, and I think Salah will score because Salah loves scoring against Leicester City, and I will go for Bobby Firmino to score the second. So that is it. That is my match prediction. That is my match lineup for Liverpool against Leicester. Now, we will be getting some Leicester City side of things. Anthony Howard, LCFC Boya. I will leave his YouTube in the description below. We will get his side of things as well. So let's see how Liverpool do, and we shall see what happens. So without further ado, I will leave the Leicester City side of things to my good friend Anthony. So let's see what his thoughts on the game.
Cheers, Doug, for having me on for the opposition preview, obviously for Saturday's game between Liverpool and Leicester at Anfield. But guys, a little bit about me. Leicester City fan channel, LCFC Boya, do home and away match day vlogs, match previews, and much, much more. So if you guys want to check out my channel, that would be much, much appreciated. But also make sure to subscribe to Doug. Let's get him to 100 subscribers. Make sure to do that. He is a great, great guy. But let's get into the preview anyway for Saturday's game. So obviously, Leicester at the moment, we're playing some decent stuff. We're third in the league, and we beat Newcastle 5-0, looking very, very comfortable. And we didn't have James Maddison, who is one of our key players. Obviously, hugely creative, very, very talented player. But he will be back, hopefully, against Liverpool at Anfield. And for you guys, obviously, you scraped your win 1-0 away at Bramall Lane to Sheffield United. And that's what you need to do sometimes. You need that little bit of luck to go in your favour if you're going to go on to win the league. Because you're starting to put a little bit of a gap in between you guys and Man City, who I think, again, will be the two teams competing for the league title. But you do need that little bit of luck at times. And you got that last week, obviously, with Dean Henderson making that mistake. But obviously for Leicester, travelling up to Anfield is one of the hardest games of the season. Last year, we got a 1-1 draw there with Claude Puel in charge. But since then, we've lost Maguire and got Brendan Rodgers, but I do feel the team that we've got now is stronger than the team last year, despite losing Maguire. Obviously, Siunchu's come in. He's playing incredibly well for us. So I do think that we'll be able to give you a game, and I don't think you guys are just going to completely run over us. Obviously, we've had a very good start to the league, being third in the league, and I really hope we go there. We show you respect, but we still get at you and we make it difficult for you, press high in your faces and make it really, really hard for you to play football. Because when we did that away at Man City last year, they struggled with it. Obviously, Tottenham at home struggled with it where we beat them. So the team that I'm hoping Brendan Rodgers goes for on Saturday is, I'm hoping he goes for a 4-3-3 with one DM. And let's get into the players that I think he should put in. So in goal, I've gone with obviously Schmeichel, and he's going to be our captain. Right back Pereira, who got a goal last week and has been playing outstanding so far this season. And obviously last year he was our player of the season. With Siunchu and Johnny Evans as the centre-half partnership. Chilwell at left back. Ndidi as the holding midfielder, and Tielemans and Maddison just in front of him. Albrighton on the right-hand side with Vardy as the striker and then Barnes as the left winger. So let's break down the starting 11 a little bit. So let's look at the back four. Obviously, we've got Ricardo and Chilwell, who will both bomb forward a lot during the game, but they will also get back. And then Siunchu, who's been outstanding so far this season for us, obviously had big shoes to fill in terms of Harry Maguire, and he's done that very, very well so far with Johnny Evans next to him to add that little bit of experience. And then as we go into the midfield, you could see two DMs sort of to sit and sort of soak up a bit of pressure from Liverpool. That's what we did away at United, and it sort of invited too much pressure, and that's where I felt like we sort of showed them too much respect and didn't try and go after them. And I'm hoping we don't do that with you guys. I'm hoping that we try and play our game. So we've got Ndidi as the one holding midfielder, but you could end up seeing Ndidi and Hamza Chowdhury both playing, but I really hope it's just Ndidi. And then in front of them, we've got Tielemans and Maddison, obviously both going to be creative and both trying to create chances for the front three that we've got. You can expect Tielemans to drop back a bit more than Maddison, and Maddison is just obviously incredible. Didn't play last week against Newcastle, but you can expect him to be back for the Liverpool game. And then let's get into the front three that I've picked of Albrighton, Vardy and Barnes. So Albrighton, he came on against Newcastle, did very well. He adds that bit of sort of energy and extra intensity and effort that Perez doesn't really offer, because I'm not saying Perez is a lazy player, but Albrighton gives 110% for everything. And going away to Anfield, you need to have that. You need to be pressing up high, which is something that Albrighton will offer alongside Vardy. Obviously, Vardy picks himself absolutely on fire at the moment. 2 goals last time out. Obviously, he's got a great scoring record against Liverpool. Hopefully that can carry on at Anfield. And on the left-hand side, we've got Harvey Barnes. And I'm a massive fan of Harvey Barnes. He's a direct runner. He will run at your defenders. But one thing he needs to really add to his game is goals. Obviously, last month he got the goal of the month against Sheffield with that incredible volley. But he doesn't score many of them. So I'm hoping that's something that will come over time. But that is the starting 11 I hope we see on Saturday. I'm going to go with a 1-1. I know it's going to be incredibly difficult to go to Anfield and get something, but I do feel like we're capable of doing it. But Doug, thank you for having me on your channel. Guys, if you could check out my channel, LCFC Boya, it would be massively appreciated. Going to have a preview and a matchday vlog coming out for the Liverpool game. But I will hopefully see you guys on here again soon.